Exodus 7. And the Lord said unto Moses, See, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you.
Let my people go!
That I may lay my hand upon Egypt, and bring forth mine armies and my people the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord when I stretch forth mine hand upon Egypt, and bring out the children of Israel from among them. And Moses and Aaron did as the Lord commanded them, so did they. And Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they spake unto Pharaoh. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, Show a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, Take thy rod, and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh, and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods, and he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened, he refuseth to let the people go. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out unto the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's brink against he come. And the rod which was turned to a serpent shalt thou take in thine hand. And thou shalt say unto him, The Lord God of the Hebrews hath sent me unto thee, saying, Let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear. Thus saith the Lord, In this thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Behold, I will smite with the rod that is in mine hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river. And the Lord spake unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Take thy rod, and stretch out thine hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon their streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. And Moses and Aaron did so, as the Lord commanded. And he lifted up the rod, and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh, and in the sight of his servants, and all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river, and there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened, neither did he hearken unto them, as the Lord had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, neither did he set his heart to this also. And all the Egyptians digged around about the river for water to drink, for they could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled. After that the Lord had smitten the river.
We're going to show you 13 mind-blowing use cases for creators using the new AI.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Makakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem Shai. What I want to go into, this morning, this morning news and prophecy. I want to kind of shift gear just a little bit, going into, how destructive, America has been, to the earth, to people, the families, to the resources, everything that the Heavenly Father created, for good. All right, this devil has turned into wickedness. Okay, and America has been the platform of the wickedness that the elites have pushed throughout the whole earth. You know, and at the destruction of America, all right, as you go into in the book of Revelation, there was something found in America. All right, that was beyond material goods, resources, and the things that is going to list, precious stones and pearls, and all the things that is going to list is going to mention something that stands out, because not only has this devil, stole, material things. Okay, he stole people. He has stolen people's sovereignty, privacy, the ability to, govern themselves to a certain degree. Okay, people's autonomy. He's taking away everything, man. The scripture say he can never have enough. All right, and this devil, he's so wicked and so deep into his witchcraft. Okay, that he's taking the souls of men. Okay, when you go to the book of Revelation 18, and I started at 10, it says, standing afar off, all right, for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city. It was mighty, militarily, economically. Okay, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come, and it's going to be destroyed in the hour. All these missiles from these other nations. Okay, and Yahweh shot in the chariots, man. America is going to be finished in the hour. Okay, quick work. Okay, for centuries of wickedness. All right, throughout the earth, man. You see, it says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buy their merchandise anymore. All right, because the nations got wealthy. Okay, off America, man. Okay, and these people that have sold out to America, because one thing we have to understand, America has made a lot of people rich. This devil, when he created this fiat currency, the dollar, all right, this petrodollar, which he's just able to print wealth out of thin air, he was able to buy out a lot of people, man. He get these governments and these major corporations to sell out their people, and they became rich. Now the people, the locals, okay, were impoverished, okay, but these certain top families of these other nations, certain government officials, or these other nations, where they became wealthy from dealing with the whore. Okay, from being in bed with the whore. You see, they partook, in the wealth of Babylon, but they had to partake in her ways. Okay, and that's why they're all going into captivity, man. You see, but America has made a lot of nations wealthy, a lot of families, a lot of people wealthy, a lot of corporations and governments, okay, wealthy, okay, through her merchandise, man. By allowing these nations to participate in, okay, this Western market, which is based off consumerism. Okay, but in turn, these nations got turned out by the whore. Okay, and where people are the worst, because American influence, goes abroad, but where people, okay, are the most cooked, okay, as they say nowadays, is right here in America, man. Okay, the wicked old USA. This is where people are absolutely the worst. Okay, America produces the worst product, man. What is it? It was foods, cars, people. Is just America produces the worst product, man. Okay, because it's the belly of the beast. Okay, verse 12, it says, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and the pearls and the fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble. Okay, because you can get all these things imported in. Okay, America gets everything in the earth imported to it. Okay, you see, America, because of that dollar, because of the demand of the dollar, all goods flow to America. You see, so this place, has had, this high position in the earth. And as people partake, with the whore, they become turned out by the whore. If you infatuated with, the gifts of the whore, the access, the convenience, okay, of the whore, you get turned out by the whore, man. Okay, it says in cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beast and sheep, okay, and horses and chariots, cars and slaves. It says and souls of men, okay, and souls of men. All right, and what America has done to the souls of men, because in America is the worst, and that's men, women, children included. Okay, but you go into this word souls. All right, let's get this word souls. All right, because when you go into it, because there's no one that's under more psyops, okay, than enchantments than right here in America, man. Okay, you go into the word soul, which goes into, you see this word here, psyche. All right, what you say it in the Greek?
Strong's G 5590. Psyche.
Psyche. All right. So when you go down, the definition too, it said the seat of feelings, desires, affections, aversions, okay, our heart, soul, etc., man. And this devil has been able to manipulate, people's, seat of feelings, their desires, their affections, aversions. Okay. This devil, like I say, he's heavy into his enchantments, and there's no one that's more enchanted, than the West, because it's an all-out attack, okay, on the American society, man. I say through the food, the music, the entertainment, the education, okay, these false religions, and then it's just the lifestyles, the culture, okay. It just meant to destroy you, man. Okay. And it has just destroyed the souls of men. And that's why America, outside of the elect, the Lord is going to destroy America and everyone in it, because it's just so far gone. It's gone. This place is gone, man. This is why, the Lord doesn't have us out here on just this come one, come all right, type ministry. Nah, man, we here to teach the elect, man. All right. And these heathens are done. So that narrows it down. We only here for Israel, and of Israel, there's a remnant who will come back. Okay, so the heathens, because America's a big melting pot. We're not here, all right, to teach everybody. Okay, the elect will be drawn to this word, and that's who we deal with, man. Okay, but this America has done a lot of damage, man. And the Wali how about Shema Shah, for pulling us out of darkness. Okay, because as we, the Lord put the spirit on us to repent and come back, under the banner of Yahushua, we start to be healed, because we're all still healing from Babylon, man. You see, an elect is recovering. Everyone else, 2/3, they're getting worse. See, the elect is in recovery. You see, but 2/3 of our people, they only get worse here in America, man. Okay, so let's go here, because there's a question posed in the book of all right, there's a question posed in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 21. Okay, so you go here, Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 21. It says, "Yet I have planted thee a noble vine." And noble goes into being the choice, the best selection. All right, because the Lord created us to be a choice people. There's nothing better, all right, than the vine of Israel, the choice vine of Israel. It says, "Holy a right seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?" Okay, so how did our people become degenerate, man? And America had a lot to do with that, man. Because even when you go back before the 60s, our people wasn't like they are now, man. Because after the 60s, from the feminist movement to now, okay, the acceleration of the degeneracy of our people, okay, has went through, went off the tracks, man. You go from the 60s until now, it has highly accelerated our people becoming degenerate, man. Okay, the strange vine unto the Lord. You see, and without Yahushua, there's no recovering from it. You know, that's why you go here to the book of Jeremiah, you know, and I got a video from my guy, Shaheed Boslin, you know, Jake. You know, he's a critic of Western culture. And, you know, sometimes he go in, you know, a lot of times he be going in, you know, so I'm going to let him spiel in a minute, you know, just set the foundation with these scriptures. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go to Jeremiah 30 and 12. It said, "For thus said the Lord, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous, man." You know, and our people that refuse to return to Yahushua, their bruise and their wound is incurable, man. And it's a grievous wound, man. You look at our people, it's a grievous wound, man. You know, it's a very grievous wound that our people have. Okay, they're done. You see, our people that refuse Yahushua, man, they just get worse and worse. Each generation falls further and further into darkness, man. They're satanic, you know, violent, and you see that dark spirit, that dark energy that our people got, man. Each generation get worse. It said, "There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou has no healing medicine, man." Because outside of Yahushua, there's no healing medicines for our people, because it begins with the spirit. So Yahushua is healing the spirit of the elect. Okay, real quick. Let's prove that. Let's get this real quick in the book of Psalms. All right, chapter 119. All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 119. And what's that? And 9, here we go. All right, Psalms 119 and 9 said, "Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed." All right, begins with taking heed. Okay, there are two according to thy word. Okay, so where can a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed. There are two according to this word, man. You know, so us being cleansed, us being healed, you know, because his word is cleansing us from the filth of Babylon, man. You know, it's healing us, man, because when you clean the wound, you know, when you heal from a wound, what do? You clean it. First thing you do when you get a cut, you have to clean it first. And then it begins to heal, man. And his word is cleansing us and allowing us to heal. You see? But for 2/3 of our people, man, America is the worst thing that ever happened to them, man. You know? Because they just only get worse. And that's why the Lord is just going to destroy the whole concept of America, man. And it's beginning now. Okay? The Lord is getting ready to destroy the whole concept, the idea of America, man. Okay? Now I'm gonna keep reading. It says, "There is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicine. All thy lovers have forgotten thee, man." And our people are into everything. They in love with everything except the Lord, man, except their power. You know, our people are into everything, every religion, you know, every type of philosophy, you know, Republican, Democrat, Christian, Islam, the ancestors, they into everything, man. Okay, but none of these things offer any path to healing for our people, man. Only makes them worse. It only opens the wound more. Okay, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy. And who's that enemy? Esau, Edom. And you look at the degenerate state of our people, man, the Lord allowed Esau to have his way. Okay, and the product is 2/3, man. All right, of people that's only good to be destroyed now. It said, "With the chastisement of a cruel one, for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased." Okay, it just keep getting worse. Okay, it only gets worse, man. You see, our people that refuse Yahushua, it only gets worse from here. And that's why the Lord is conjuring up this destruction, man. The Lord is orchestrating the end of this thing, man. The Lord, and he ready to cut it short, man. The Lord finna take the time short. You know, he tired of more niggas being produced in the earth, man. Okay? More little young hoes being produced in the earth. All right, this is what they call themselves now, man. Okay? STDs off the chart. Violence off the chart. Okay? Dysfunction is off the chart, man. You see, to Jake is just becoming, our people just becoming goddamn animals, man. Literal animals, man. Okay? So now, man, the Lord finna take the time short. And that's why all these things are happening, man. That's why prophecy is moving like it's moving, man. Okay? Because the Lord finna take the time short, man. Okay? And the legacy of Babylon is nothing but the destruction of the souls of men. Okay? It says, let's go here. It says, why cries thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins will increase. I have done these things unto thee. Okay, so the Lord said, because our sins were increased, he done these things to us as a people, man. But there's a remnant we pulled out of it, man. But the 2/3, he left them on their path to self-destruct, man. All this destruction that's coming via prophecy, man. This third world war, even before then, the Jacob's trouble, the civil unrest, man. It's gonna be a time of torment. Okay, it's gonna be a time of torment for Jake, man. Okay, because the Lord has allowed, the Lord has allowed America to take Jake to a point of no return. A lot of our people, man, men and women and children, man. The Lord just has allowed them, okay, to be taken to the point of no return, man. There's no recovering them on this side, man. And that's part of the counter costing and truth, man. We're not here for all Jake, man. Okay, there's a lot of our people. There's nothing you can do with them, nothing to be done, man. A complete waste of time. All right, Jeremiah 25:5, it says, they said, turn ye again now, every one from his evil way and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord have given unto you and to your fathers forever and ever. Okay, hold on, I skipped. That's us. Okay. It might be 24. So lucky. Might be 24. Yeah, this is it. All right, this is Jeremiah 24:3. It said, then said the Lord Yahweh Bashim al Shah to me, what seest thou, Jeremiah? And I said, figs, the good figs, very good, and the evil, very evil. All right, they cannot be eaten. They are so evil. So these good figs, the very good, are the elect. These evil figs, okay, are so evil they can't be eaten. So they mean they have no use. The whole purpose of a fig is to be eaten. That's its use. Okay, it has certain, nutrients and benefits, that come with eating, the fig. Okay, but our people, they got become so bad that they're useless, man. What the Lord intended our people to be, man, 2/3 have strayed far away. They continue to get further and further away. You see, the hopeful lake is getting back to what the Lord intended us to be, man. Lord, will we endure and stay on that path, man? But 2/3, okay, they strayed so far off the path, man, that the Lord not gonna bother with them, man. He just gonna lump them up in this destruction, man. They become useless to our power. Okay, you look at our people, man. A lot of our people have become completely useless to our power, man. Okay, the nigga woman, man, they're completely useless for what the Lord is getting ready to do in the earth, man, which is bring forth a righteous kingdom. Because our people hate righteousness, man. Okay, our people hate righteousness, man. That's why. Matter of fact, let's go from there. All right, let's go from there. And like I said, I'm gonna let him go in a minute. Let me go here. Yep, it's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9. All right, and verse 9. It says, then shall they be in pitiful case, which have abused my ways, all right, and that they have cast them away despitefully, all right, and they that cast them away, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments, man. So we come into the times that as our people hate the ways of righteousness, they hate to hear about our power, they hate to hear about prophecy and what's to come. Okay, and our people choose to cast them away despitefully, man. They're finna dwell in torments, man. this judgment is coming, man, for a purpose, man. This ain't just no random thing that's happening, man. This ain't just about America's, horrible military strategy, okay? Or the small hats, their inability to, accomplish anything militarily, okay? It's bigger than that. The Lord put the spirit on them to be like that for his purpose to come through, okay? But there's a judgment that's coming to the earth, man. All right? The Lord wants to bring judgment, all right, to the earth, especially here in America, man. So he's causing all this prophecy to come to pass, man, which is going to bring about great judgment, man, torments in the earth, okay? For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, okay? So our people, as they, receive benefits, because Jake is over here, like I say, Jake is in America with all this convenience, okay? Jake has this, the benefit of being in this first world society, okay? And what Jake has done, completely forgot about that power, okay? Jake just over here doing them. The Lord didn't put the spirit on 2/3 to ever come back. And this time, man, they're gonna have to literally be born again in the kingdom, because they refuse to be born again right now in the spirit, okay? And it says, and they have loathed my law while they had yet had liberty, okay, when there's yet place of repentance was upon them, understood not, but despised it, okay? So as our people have all this liberty, okay, in this, in this society, okay, the Lord opened up repentance, okay, he raised up the prophets to teach his people, the word, teach them prophecy, teach them how to be pleasing unto him, okay, understanding Yahushua, so the Lord has made it very convenient for our people to repent and come back in this time, because there was a time when, guess what, we couldn't even read books, okay? You'll be whipped for reading books and you'll be put to death for reading Bibles, man, the Bible, okay? But the Lord has given us all type of access to the Bible, the blue letter. Brothers can learn how to, use the AI to bring out certain points, and the Lord has made it very convenient, has given us a lot of tools to teach this Bible with, man. All these different documentaries and clips and things the brothers put together, and compilations. Brother, hey, the spirit is going all out, man, when it comes to teaching His word. Okay, but as this liberty was open to our people, all right, 2/3 of our people refused to come back, man. They despised it. Said the same must know it after death by pain, and therefore be not thou curious how the ungodly shall be punished. Okay, it says, I'm gonna read verse 12 again. The same must know it after death by pain. And the Lord, you gotta understand, man, the fact that the Lord put that death by pain, what you can't just skip over that, man. You gotta come back to that. The Lord said the same must know it after death by pain, man. So the Lord is finna bring the pain to Jake, man. He's gonna make Jake feel it. Okay? He gonna make Jake feel it, man. Jake done got caught up in America, and in this la la land, oblivious, and in this goofy ass mode and big ass kids, and you see all this silly shit that Jake be on, and Jake still trying to, impress the internet and all this. Okay, all right, we finna see what that's gonna lead at the end of the day, man. Okay, the same must know it after death by pain, and therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is and whom the world is created. So we're not curious about 2/3, man. We own something else, man, and you have a remnant that's being awakened and being taught, man, that's consistently learning and growing, ready to receive this word, man. We're here for them. Hey, we here for ourselves and those that believe, those that are like-minded, man. Okay, because the Lord has allowed America, to just continue to destroy people, to destroy Jake, and to the point of no return, man. Destroy our people, men, women, and children, to the point of no return. Now, I want to get this All right, because like I say, oh, Shaheed, he go in. You know, I think it's like 22 minutes, but he go in. All right, that whole time. All right, so most I'm gonna let him go for the most part, man. You know, so let's listen to this. All right, it's called America Erosion.
Well, it's creepy. For me, it's creepy. It's a strange feeling. It's eerie. Scrolling American social media is eerie. It's an eerie feeling. It's like when you watch one of those movies that's about some real life catastrophic event like Pompeii or Hiroshima or 9/11 or something like that. And you're in the audience and you know what's going to happen, you know, as you're watching it. But the movie is showing you people just going around doing their daily things, their normal lives, living their normal lives, completely oblivious to what you in the audience know is about to take place. It's incredibly eerie. I feel a sense of dread, you know, the tension of impending doom is just too palpable.
And that's how we feel, you know, as the Lord has given us the Holy Spirit to understand prophecy, man. You look out and see Jake, you know, that has no idea. All right. It's like watching a movie and understanding how this thing ends, but you see the behavior of people and it's like, damn, you know, Jake has no urgency, man. Okay. Absolutely no urgency to return to the Lord. Okay. They're just walking on unto death, man. You see?
And then combined with the complete obliviousness of the people, subhanAllah, it just makes it unbearable. For me, it's unbearable to scroll social media. Or it's like the horror movies when everyone goes to a cabin in the woods or something like that, and then teenagers or what have you, every smile, every laugh, every flirtation between the characters just builds that sense of dread because you know what kind of movie it is. That's how I feel whenever I look at American content on social media. Whenever I look at the vapid, frivolous, self-obsessed, indulgent, privileged inanity of American content most of the time, even most of the political content is completely oblivious. In a way, it's heartbreaking. It's kind of heartbreaking, really, because not only do they have no concept of what's coming to them, they can't even understand what's actually already happening to them. You understand? You're being lulled and tranquilized by the false assurance that somehow America is always going to win, that America is always going to thrive, that America is always going to come out on top. And you think that the way that things have been for only basically like 3 generations, from the World War II generation to the baby boomers to Gen X to the millennials, this minuscule blip in history, somehow you have convinced yourselves that it's going to last forever. That America is the sun around which everything revolves and not just a sparkler. No, it's just a sparkler. It's just a quick firecracker. Shortest empire in history, but with the most grossly inflated self-image that the world has ever seen. The America in your head is a Marvel superhero, but the reality is like some obese teenager in a dollar store leotard and a towel for a cape and a mask that his mother made him. That's the reality. The reality of American empire is a stolen lottery ticket, and you misread how many zeros are on the winning ticket, on the winning prize. You thought you won everything. You thought that you were going to be set for life, but it's not the case. Turns out you didn't win your way into permanence. You understand? I don't think anyone has ever in history been as deluded about the nature of their society as the Americans are deluded. And subhanAllah, the persistence of those delusions is really remarkable. That's the most remarkable thing to me. It's like a drug-induced brain fog. Like I said, when I scroll American social media or American content on social media, that's all I see. People on hallucinogens. I mean, the fissure, the gaping chasm between the seriousness of your situation and the unseriousness with which you view your situation is truly staggering. You understand? The U.S. Treasury Department just announced few days ago that America is functionally insolvent. Do you understand? Your liabilities and your obligations vastly surpass your assets. If that exact same condition were to be applied to any other country, if the magnitude of that condition were to happen to any other country in the world, it would result in immediate cataclysmic crisis, economic collapse. That country would be downgraded into the depths of hell. You understand me? The whole country would be foreclosed upon. The whole country would be auctioned off. Can you just imagine Uncle Sam when the repo man comes talking about, you can't do this to me. Do you know who I am? Yes, it can happen to you. It can happen to you, and it is happening to you. You understand? Your elites have burned through your empire like crepe paper. Yes, there's no such thing as Team America. There isn't. There never has been. They make you think it's a team, but they don't act like it's a team. It's a team in the same way that you have a team of dogs pulling a sled. That's the kind of team it is. It's a chain gang team. You're a fool if you think there's anything called Team America, if there's any Team America. The American people thought they were on the team, and they're the first ones to be sacrificed. And then the politicians thought that they were on the team, and they got sacrificed too. Every single one of you gets fed through that machine. Every single one of you gets fed through that extraction vacuum machine that you have used to ransack the whole world. And all the time thinking that that ransacking and thinking that all of that pillage was all being done for you. All that time thinking that you were wreaking havoc in the global south, extracting other people's resources, other people's natural wealth, stealing and looting and enslaving people. You thought it was all being done for Bob and Linda in the suburbs. You thought that the colonial imperial monster of America was in service to you and to your comfort and to your convenience. You thought that the whole world was being subjugated to be your footstool. Team America. You understand? And you got fat and you got lazy and illiterate and unskilled and complacent and over-entertained and self-indulgent and stupid. And you thought that the carnage machine would just keep feeding you and never feed upon you because Team America. No, you never understood how any of this works in reality or why. I've said it before. Any society that does not care, doesn't care at all about the quality of the people that it produces, well, they only view their people as disposable, as expendable, and as consumable. Now, your society never cared about you. They never cared about you at all. You thought because they were slaughtering and because they were pillaging all around the world, and you were getting some benefit from that, so you thought that they were doing it because they loved you. You thought the system loved you. You thought the country loved you. How myopic of you. How delusional. You thought that the killing machine, that vicious system of degradation and subjugation, you thought it had a soft spot for you. You thought it was doing all of that just for you. And you thought it would keep on doing it and it would never end. You slept on a waterbed filled with the blood of the global south, filled with the blood of Africa, filled with the blood of Central and South America, filled with the blood of Asia. And all you in the middle class and all you in the upper class, all you upper class and middle class Americans, you thought that you were just the precious little princesses of your Uncle Sam, of your favorite Uncle Sam. And you thought that that serial killer uncle of yours was only doing what he was doing for your sake, so that you could have all the nice things that you wanted. Why, you're a fool. You're a fool. There's no Team America. There's no such thing as America, in fact. And if you don't see what I mean, you're going to see it soon enough. You're going to see it soon enough if you can't see it already. Now, I've talked to the West many times, and I've addressed the American people many, many times. And I've already told you repeatedly what you have in your near to midterm future and in your long-term future. And I've told you what you need to do to prepare for that, but I know you won't do it. I know you won't do it because the overwhelming majority of you cannot do it. All the human skills and all the human qualities that are required to be able to do it, all the prerequisites of being able to do it, you don't have them. You don't have the required prerequisites because, like I say, your society never cared about you. Your society never meant for you to cultivate those qualities. They never meant for you to have those skills. Your society discarded you before you were even born. That's the truth. Your society has ensured that you're useless. Your society has ensured that you would be completely incapable and incompetent. And you, stupidly, thought that this complete abject lack of care was actually your society prioritizing you. You thought that your society loved you because they gave you devices, because they gave you apps and streaming services. They gave you toys and junk food and movies and music and filters to make you look good on social media. No, your society has relentlessly rendered you incapable and useless. You can't even think for yourselves. You can barely even read and write in your own language. You can't concentrate for more than a few minutes at a time. You can't process information. You can't remember anything. You can't even read a map. You can't do math. Your thoughts are all scrambled. Your families are broken. Your relationships are toxic. You're frivolous and silly and self-obsessed. A society can't hate you more than that. No, you can't hate a people more than when you make those people nothing but dead weight on the earth. When you completely disconnect people from their own innate human potential and you render those people as nothing but automatons in service to your system, you can't hate them more than that. That's the pinnacle of contempt. And that's Team America. I'm not saying any of this to insult you. I've told you many times. I'm saying it to let you know how badly your society has done you. And because maybe one or two of you will listen. Maybe one or two of you will get the message. You need to stop thinking in terms of any sort of mass movement in your country. You need to stop thinking in terms of any sort of national, countrywide mobilization for change. And you can completely put out of your mind that any of this is going to turn around. It's not going to turn around. None of this is going to be reversed. You understand me? The deterioration, the decline, the dismantling, that's an irreversible process. It's an irreversible process. So don't comfort yourself with the lie that somehow this is all cyclical. It's not cyclical. It's gravitational. What goes up must come down. And you're going to be in denial about this. I know you will. I know you're in denial about it now. You're going to be in denial about it probably for years. Some of you for maybe even longer, maybe your whole life. More deterioration from here on out in the United States. I can tell you what the future looks like in the US. And that's not even me telling the future. You understand? I'm not a fortune teller or something. It doesn't really even count as a prediction. When you're talking about something like this, when you're talking about this sort of thing, it's not even a prediction. It's like if I throw a rock out the window. Am I telling the future or am I making a prediction? Is it some kind of a prophecy when I tell you that that rock is going to hit the ground? No, there's nothing else that can happen. There's nothing else that can happen. And there's nothing else that will happen with America, with the United States. The rock is falling to the ground and that's irreversible. You understand? Once an irreversible trajectory has been engaged, has been entered, well, you may as well treat the end point as having already been reached because it's inevitable. I told you what would happen to any other country, what would happen to any other country that was insolvent the way America is insolvent. Crisis, catastrophic collapse. That's what would happen to any other country in the world that had the same financial conditions that the US has right now. But that's not going to happen to the US. That's not going to happen to the US. But don't you think for a second that that's better for you? Now, you're not going to have collapse in any sort of dramatic way as would happen to another country. You're going to erode, slow death. You know, collapse is different. Collapse happens all at once. It's a shock. People can respond to collapse, but erosion happens right in front of you. It happens right in front of you gradually, and you don't even see it.
And just to add, according to prophecy, you know, it's going to erode because it's been happening for a while. You know, El Apostle Gabar always go into how, you know, America, you know, is circling the drain. You know, it's been circling the drain for a while. And then it's going to collapse. You know, it's going to roll, but then it is going to be a sudden collapse and an instant collapse of everything. You know? So it's going to be a sudden collapse of, you know, this American fantasy. All right? In America, like I say, because America, you know, has this, because the dollar is a scheme. You see, the debt really doesn't mean, like the American debt really don't mean nothing as long as the scheme is going. That's the American petrodollar. You see, if you take the petro off the dollar, all right, that's why they go to war whenever these nations become a threat to the petrodollar. They go to actual war about that, you know, or they go and do a major regime change, or both. You see? But America has been shielded by the scheme of the petrodollar, you know, to where it can survive, you know, all type of, you know, economic, you know, catastrophes and always rebound because of the goddamn dollar, man, that petrodollar. Okay? But it's coming to a point, man, where the Lord is breaking all this shit up. The Lord got the leaks, all right, that's going to pull the plug on that petrodollar. Okay? And this place is going to collapse, you know? So it's a slow, it's speeding up. You know, things are speeding up, but it's a decline. Okay, but it's a gradual decline. It's a gradual dismantle. All right, dismantle. Okay, but eventually gonna get to the point where it's just gonna fully break. Okay. Matter of fact, real quick, let's get this. Let's get this precept, and we'll come back to it. Let's go here. All right. Let's go here to let me get this in the book of Isaiah. All right, Isaiah 30. Okay, and get to the point. All right, Isaiah 30 and 12. You know, we pick up on what was saying in second Esdras. Okay, so let's go here to Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 12. It said, "Wherefore thus said the Holy One of Israel, because you despise His word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon." Okay, and our people, all right, they depend on this oppressive system to keep going. It's perverse, and the Lord is showing you how perverse this system is, man. Okay, all the wickedness that's been coming out of these devil, man, all these entertainers, these nasty niggas, man. Okay, all this madness been coming out on these niggas, man. It's a perverse, oppressive society, but our people depend on it to keep going because they've been so spoiled with the convenience of Babylon, man. Okay, it said, "Therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant." You know, so this place is already, you know, the Lord been chipping away at this place, you know, breaking this place down. Okay, all right, and it's gonna come a time where all it takes is one swing of the hammer, and this whole thing gonna come down, man. Okay, so this place is ready for a collapse. You know, it's been a gradual decline. Okay, but the Lord is going to bring a sudden collapse. All right, one of these days, man. Okay, so let's go back. You know, just want to get into that real quick. Let's go back here.
Erosion happens while you're scrolling. Erosion happens while you're arguing about trans athletes and pronouns and feminism and patriarchy and whatnot. Erosion happens while they're keeping you busy and keeping you distracted and entertained. And by the time you feel it fully, you've already adapted to it. It's the new normal. And you've forgotten what it even felt like before. That's where America is right now. That's precisely where America is right now. Look, the national debt in America is $38.4 trillion. It grew by $2.23 trillion just last year. In 1 year, that's $6 billion a day, $255 million an hour, $4 million a minute. And what do you think they're going to do about it? You and I both know what they're going to do about it. They're going to cut any and every program that serves the poorest people, the neediest people, because Team America. You know, net interest payments, just interest payments, have tripled in the last 5 years. In 2020, in October 2020, the United States of America paid $345 billion in annual interest. By October 2025, $981 billion in interest, nearly $1 trillion a year, just in interest. Understand? This is not a country that's spending on their future anymore. They can't spend on their future anymore. This is a country that is paying the bill for its past. And this is what you have to understand. That's why this is happening. Up until now, all you have been doing is running up a bill. And your whole future now is going to be nothing but payment. Nothing but payment. Total household debt in America is $18.8 trillion, the highest it's ever been. The average household owes $100,000. Do you understand me? $100,000. You've never even been able to afford the life that you have. You understand? The great American prosperous lifestyle, all those nice things that your serial killer uncle got for you, the great American quality of life that you post about on Instagram, on social media, and you flaunt to the world about how great your life is and how you look down on people outside the U.S. because of their comparative poverty. Well, that lifestyle, that quality of life is something that you could never afford to begin with. And it's getting less and less affordable. And it's going to keep on like that. Essential costs like housing, like groceries, like utilities, insurance, and so forth, that's gone up 20 to 25% in the last 4 years. But incomes obviously have not kept up. So you're filling the gap with debt, because debt is now the standard scaffolding around ordinary American life. And you're not paying it off. You're never paying it off. You can't. You just keep it running month after month, emergency to emergency. Average credit card interest rates hit 24% in 2025, 24%. You know what that means? The system is lending money to people to trap them, to trap people in a permanent state of obligation where they work to service the interest. They work to service the debt, not even the principal of the debt, just the interest. That's not a lending system, it's an extraction system. Team America. You know, in 1958, 73% of Americans trusted the federal government. They trusted them to do the right thing most of the time. Today, that number has collapsed to just 9%, 73% to 9%. And the Republicans only trust, that their trust is only up because their man is in the White House. It'll completely collapse next time if a Democrat wins. Trust has become tribal. It's become conditional. It's not institutional. You understand? You trust your party. You trust your group. You trust your class. You trust your race. But you don't trust a single institution in your own country. Not the government, not the courts, not the schools, not the media. What kind of a team is that? You don't trust anyone on your team, so-called team. And I'm not telling you that you should trust your institutions. Well, you'd have to be a fool to trust any institution in that country. But my point is the erosion. This is erosion. Only 1 in 5 Americans are even able to convince themselves that their children are going to be better off than they were. 4 out of 5 of you, 4 out of 5 Americans already know that this is not going to happen. You already know that your children are going to live worse lives than you live. The American dream has become a fringe belief inside of America. There's more people that believe in UFOs. There's more people that believe in ghosts, that believe in the lost city of Atlantis than believe in your so-called American dream. Yes, you might as well start using the term American patriot as a euphemism for brain damaged. Yes, you can either love your family, or you can love your country. You can either love your country or you can love yourself, because you sure can't do both. Because your country has nothing but contempt for you. They have nothing but contempt for your family. That's Team America. You can either love your community or you can love your country. But you cannot love them both, because the country hates your community. Your country hates your community. And I'm telling you, if you're on the fence about that, if you're ambivalent about that, if you're unsure, if you're uncertain about what I just told you, then you yourself are an enemy to your own community. You're an enemy to your own family, and you're an enemy to your own self. If you don't know whose side you're on, you understand me? If you don't know whose side you're on, and if you think that your country is on the same side as you, then you're either a fool or a collaborator against your own interests and against the interests of your family and against the interests of your community. That's the truth. Don't get mad at me for saying it. I didn't make it that way. I'm not the one who made it like that. I'm just telling you that that's the way it is. But yes, like I said, I talked to you before. I've addressed the people in that country before. I've addressed the people in the country, in the society that I myself came from. I've addressed them many times. And I told you what to expect. And I've told you about what you need to do. But like I say, I know you won't do it. I know you won't do it because I know you can't do it. So let me talk to my own people. Let me talk to the Muslims.
So you tired talking, man. You know? But yeah, he went in, you know, and then like this is the results of America. This is the legacy of Babylon, man. The destroyer of souls, man. You know, they have destroyed people to the point of no return. All right, so let's get this here. Where we at? Let's go here to the book of 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter. All right, we'll close it out here. This is the book of 2nd Ezra 8. All right, this is 2nd Ezra 8 and 50. You know, he said a lot. You know, he said a lot. All right, but that sums up the American psyche. Okay, delusional, proud, entitled, confused. Okay, all at the same time. 2nd Ezra 8 and 50 said, "For many great misery shall be done to them in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Okay? Because they have walked in great pride. You see? So it's many, the only thing left coming to America is miseries, man. That's the only thing coming. You know, because our people, okay, and it's addressing our people. America as a whole has been proud. All right, but our people have got caught up in that, man. And miseries are coming to them. You know, it said, but understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like unto thee. Seek out the glory for such as be like unto thee, man. Okay? So we're here to search out the glory for those that are like-minded in Yahushua, man. You know, this is who we serve Yahushua by serving the people that's like-minded in Yahushua, man. Okay? Because everyone else is cooked. All our people are done. It's over. They're at the point of no return. They have been rendered useless. Okay? The Most High has allowed them to become useless in this society, man. That's why we're not instructed, okay, to go teach all Israel, man. We're here, all right, to teach the elect. Okay? So, Lord will, all right, you brothers, all right, and you sisters, edify once again and give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards your brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully. Shalom.